Are we live again? Are we? Oh my, oh my. Wonderful. Absolutely brilliant. How is everybody doing? How you doing? Are you following your dreams? I absolutely hope you are. No reason not to, right? Gotta do it anyways. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's going on? What is happening in the world today? So many things. Absolutely so many things. My, oh my. Are we ready? I hope so. So, you made it, right? Out of 8 billion people, the smartest ones found this stream. That's math, mathematics. Well, everyone else is asleep or resting or relaxing, or, you know, you're about to be the most informed person in your group chat tomorrow. Tonight is historic. Missiles 40 miles from Tehrran. Sirens in Bahrain. The White House melting down over the Island Man files. And the World Cup kicking off. Kevin Clyde says, what is your thought about Trump or Republican in general? It's a good question. I never met Trump in person, so I can't really say. As far as Republicans and Democrats, I love everybody. What about you? What are your thoughts on Donald Trump, POTUS, and Republicans and Democrats? So it's like the news had 17 energy drinks. If you're new, hit subscribe. It's free. Unlike therapy, after reading these headlines, right? Don't let these headlines bring you down. It's not worth it. Members get badges. Super chats get read live on air. Yes, I will say your name like you're royalty if you want. And stick around to the end because I've got a prediction in the last segment nobody is going to see coming. Chat. Let's ride. Might as well. All right, so we got U.S. launches waves of attacks as Trump vows Iran will pay the price. All righty.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv. What's going on, Trey?
Yeah, hey, Jesse, good evening. I spoke tonight with President Trump, who was in...
Well said, Kevin. Well said. Yeah. Who doesn't have flaws, honestly? I think he tries. I think he's doing much better than the previous administration, but it's all so tricky. It's all so tricky. How you doing, Tara? How you doing? I don't know who Ben Burnt is. Is that a compliment or is that not a compliment? How you doing, A King? Thanks for the message.
In the Situation Room, overseeing these U.S. military strikes against the Iranian regime. He was joined by Vice President J.D. Vance and Special Envoys Kushner and Witkoff. The president telling Fox News at that time 49 Tomahawk missiles had been used against targets in Iran, along with fighter jets that were bombing positions about 40 miles outside of Tehran and also along the southwest coast of Iran that sits along the Persian Gulf. The president said, we hit them very hard tonight. He described the strikes as vicious and violent. He said the bombing...
Vicious and violent. Kevin dropping something in the chat saying the problem is that the IRGC commanders will never surrender because they are religious fanatics, so negotiating is impossible. Yeah, that's a tough one right there because that's a completely different culture, and it's hard to negotiate, especially if you don't understand their terms, you know. So it takes a lot of people who understand what they mean, and so words don't get lost in translation and those types of things. And culture is a huge part of it, so we got to take that into consideration while negotiating as well. Hopefully there is a way to negotiate, you know. That's the dream. That's the goal, I think. Shaky Knob says, why would they surrender when they're winning? Who are you talking about? Who's winning?
Will stop shortly, but if they don't sign an agreement, the president said, quote, we'll bomb the S out of them tomorrow. And so ultimately, the president is leaving the military option on the table.
That's tomorrow. The big day's happening tomorrow. Hopefully, there are some negotiations, right?
President Trump describing what it was like in.
A King says, what did anyone expect attacking them? Exactly. And how could that have been avoided?
Inside the Situation Room, he tells Fox News the Iranians called him and asked him to stop bombing. I asked him if he spoke directly with officials in Tehran. He said yes, top officials there. Similar people that he's been dealing with before, trying to get this deal across the finish line. He says this ceasefire has been the most violated ceasefire in the history of the world. And Vice President J.D. Vance told me they are dealing with both moderate and more extreme voices inside of Iran. As for the state of play in the region, the Middle East is bracing to see if the Iranians are going to respond to these U.S. strikes against their country that hammered radar systems and air defense units along the coast. We do know that Israel was not involved in the strikes tonight, according to President Trump, but the president said he did speak with the Israelis briefly before this operation began. But again, to conclude here, Jesse, 49 Tomahawk missiles used by the U.S. military, fighter jets over the sky.
Shaky Knob says they knew what would happen. Iran has threatened to close the strait for 30 years. They attacked them to distract the world from the island man files. Plain and simple. I think a lot of people agree with you, unfortunately.
Of Iran hammering targets
there
on
you
the
go.
ground.
King agrees with you. A lot of people do.
Iranian officials, according to President Trump, on the phone with the president himself, asking him to stop the bombing campaign. Jesse?
Great reporting, Trey. Stay safe. Thank you.
Tonight, Iran is once again burning for the second night in a row. Wave after wave after wave of U.S. airstrikes that are pounding this country after stalling negotiations and attacking U.S. forces. President Trump, he's had enough. We told you he would. And he's now following through on his promise to hit the IRGC and other targets hard. Joining us now with the very latest, live from Washington, D.C., our very own Jennifer Griffin. It's been a busy night tonight, Jennifer.
That's right, Sean, and the airstrikes are ongoing. U.S. Central Command began bombing Iranian targets at 5:15 p.m. Eastern after President Trump and Secretary Hegseth telegraphed earlier today that the bombing would resume tonight. Initial explosions were heard almost simultaneously at port cities along the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian air defenses, radars, and communication sites. Iran continues to frustrate the U.S. military by firing drones and missiles using mobile launchers that they can hide inside mountain tunnels. Earlier today, Secretary Hegseth visited Guantanamo Bay in Cuba and then flew to Tampa, Florida to CENTCOM headquarters, where he was briefed on Iranian target lists by Admiral Brad Cooper.
Those strikes that'll happen tonight will be strong. They will be clear. If they happen to happen tomorrow night, they will be strong and they will be clear. CENTCOM, Central Command, will be busy tonight because President...
That's a direct threat. That's an absolute huge threat right there. Is that a good thing, or are they playing a little chess match over here? Because that's a pretty bold statement right there from Secretary Hegseth. I don't know if that's smart.
Trump said we will be hitting
What do you think,
Iran
chat? Is that smart?
hard, and we will be. If we need to negotiate with bombs, we'll negotiate with bombs.
How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. There you go. Yeah. There you go. What do you think? Is that a wise decision, what Hegseth is doing over here? Just kind of giving him a heads up, you know. Maybe casting a little bit of fear. You know, doing something we don't know.
Earlier today, the president revealed the U.S. military had secretly been escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, laden with over 100 million barrels, he said, in the middle of the night without Iran seeing them. The Apache helicopter hit by the Iranian drone yesterday was reportedly providing overwatch and protection for one of those vessels. President Trump said an Iranian projectile lodged between the two pilots of the Apache and was on fire, emitting a massive amount of heat, but did not explode within seconds.
There you go. There you go. Damage says, don't mind it. We need to be tough on Iran. Yeah. I guess that's one way to approach it for sure. Absolutely. Living a extinguished girl says, our leaders are not the brightest. Tara saying, he is aging rapidly. Yeah, that job's not easy. Oh my gosh. So many souls on the line, right?
Since the helicopter pilots brought the helicopter down into the water quickly. Overnight, Iran fired dozens of missiles and drones at U.S. bases after the U.S. bombed 20 Iranian targets in retaliation for the downed Apache helicopter. Sean, Qatari negotiators were in Tehran today to convince Iranian officials to restart negotiations. And we've just learned air defense sirens have sounded in Bahrain. Sean?
Yeah, Jennifer, is there any truth to the Qataris apparently telling the Iranians, take the deal that you've been offered? Is there truth to that? I saw that report.
I've seen the same report, Sean. I have not spoken with any of the Qatari officials, but it is likely that they were pressuring the Iranians to at least come back to the talks with a serious offer. And now, at this point, it's hard to see how they get off of this escalation ladder. The president, however, says that he received a call from Iranian officials earlier this evening. The Iranians are denying making that call. We'll just have to see in the morning. Sean?
You know, I will tell you, if those Apache helicopter pilots were murdered, this would be a very different discussion tonight, in my opinion. Jennifer Griffin in Washington tonight. Thank you.
Chuck DeVore is a retired Army intelligence officer. Do you think this latest round is going to do the trick?
Well, Jesse, I guess that's the big question. I don't think it will, in the sense that, let's say they do agree to sign an agreement. Are they really going to stick to it? Or will they not agree to sign a document and try to string things along some more? I think what we've seen in the last two nights is similar to the concept of peeling back layers of an onion. Last night's strikes were about neutralizing air defense systems and radars in retaliation, of course, for the...
Didn't we already neutralize every single one of their radars? That's from what I understand, right? What is going on?
That drone hitting the Apache and almost killing our two pilots. It's just, as you said, it's a miracle that they survived, especially the part about ditching in the ocean at night. That's actually really dangerous. So we're peeling back the layers of defense in Iran, and then tonight we hit them even harder and deeper. And so what that does is...
Shaky Nub, that's a wild statement. I don't want to read it on stream, but yeah, I think that's a sad way to look at it. I hope none of them, man. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Especially when you think about it in that way. You're like, yeah, I'm paying my tax dollars. We got holes in the roads. We got these bums. We got these elections that may or may not be set up. People cheating, lying. And our hard-earned tax dollars are going to extinguish some alleged enemy someplace, right? It's hard. It's hard. It's very, very important to read between the lines whenever you're watching the news.
It sets up the opportunity, if the president pulls the trigger, of really unleashing.
Behavior Bender says the war was won weeks ago. Everything was obliterated. There you go, buddy. You have some insider information? Let us know. Thank you for jumping in on the chat.
An enormous amount of damage in a short period of time in Iran.
From listening to Trey, you get the sense that Trump's patience has run out, and that he's going to keep a sustained air campaign on these people until they sign what he wants them to sign. Is that your sense?
That certainly seems to be my sense of what's going on. I would like to employ a historical analogy, even though sometimes they can be strained too far. If you think about the war against Imperial Japan in the closing hours of 1945, you know, we took Okinawa at great cost. We were firebombing Japanese cities. We had choked them off from their food supply. And yet it took 2 atomic bombs to force surrender. And even then, the Japanese Imperial Army wasn't convinced that they should surrender. They wanted to fight on. And thank goodness they didn't. There would have been millions and millions of casualties on both sides. So, you know...
How did you know, IJ? How did you know? Mr. Mikey says, there is no alleged enemies. Just enemies. Just enemies. Do you agree or disagree, chat?
There's historical precedents for really difficult enemies who never want to surrender. And when you think about it, Jesse, of course the IRGC doesn't want to surrender. They think they may lose their lives to the Iranian people, who are getting pretty ticked off about the misrule that they've suffered since 1979.
Yeah, the IRGC is kind of in a nifty little position during the ceasefire, but hopefully these latest round of strikes kind of shake things loose so we can get some...
So someone earlier in the chat said, like, what did anyone expect bombing Iran, right? That's a pretty strong one right there. So escalation was obviously predictable. The ideal response validates the core logic, but adds what most people miss, you know. So what did anyone expect? Yeah. Is that building credibility, thereby trying to disarm them, I guess? So the bombing definitely did cause escalation, which is predictable. It's a tough one. This week's strikes are the third exchange testing a 2-month ceasefire, sparked by the downing of a U.S. Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. A tit-for-tat spiral, not a planned campaign. Direct from NPR and Al Jazeera.
Some of the moderate negotiators to sign and then just enforce it.
Oi, oi, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, good to see you.
And no money's going to exchange hands unless we see that dust destroyed. Chuck, thank you.
More details of what he calls that secret mission that Jennifer told us about in the region. White House correspondent Aisha Hasni has those stories for us this evening. Hi, Aisha.
John, good evening. Here at the White House, we are waiting to see if President Trump, how far he will take these strikes on.
W's in the chat for a woman who looks like a woman. All right. Well dressed.
Iran. This morning, he told Fox News that he was close to ordering strikes on Iranian power plants and their bridges, critical infrastructure. That would be a major escalation.
Jay Tara says, make peace, not war. Absolutely.
Even further than the strikes that we're seeing right now. That hasn't happened yet, as far as we can tell. But he did say the door is still open to it.
Did I say that wrong, Bill Ismet? 63 Apache?
We hit him hard yesterday, and we're going to...
That's right. She's not Veronica. Absolutely. Speaking of Veronica, let's bring Veronica's friend out.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Please support this channel, drop a super chat, and become a member.
There you go, girl. You got a cat chasing you. All right.
Going to hit him again hard today.
President Trump making good on that promise only a few hours later as the U.S. military began rocking Iran for a second day after the IRGC shot down an American Apache helicopter this week, detailing how the 2 U.S. crew members inside avoided death when an Iranian drone lodged right in the middle of them.
It didn't explode. It was on fire, but it didn't explode. Those two guys, they knew how to fly, but they got very lucky.
According to Iran state media, an Iranian armed forces spokesperson answered, "We've proven that we will respond to threats appropriately." The president growing increasingly frustrated Iran hasn't capitulated.
All right, so make peace, not war, right? So there's those 3 real blockers, right? There's the uranium. Trump demands Iran surrender its enriched uranium and permanently relinquish nuclear weapons capacity. Wasn't there a time limit, or is it just forever? And then number 2 guarantees Iran's main sticking point is securing guarantees that a ceasefire results in a lasting to end hostilities. So allegedly, Iran is behind a lot of these situations that we do not know about, right? The U.S. did bomb twice during negotiations. Is that a sign that someone's word was not held? And so Iran wants the ceasefire to also halt attacks in Lebanon, which is, something that these negotiations have to take part in, and people have to, just negotiate, allow some things to happen. Stop bombing the south of Lebanon or attacking them, and a ceasefire can happen, right? Allegedly, that's what we believe Iran wants. Yeah, hopefully that's a route to peace.
Yet, but insists the regime has fully negotiated a deal.
They keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because you know what? They dealt with some very stupid presidents.
Meanwhile, Trump says he's interviewing 5 people to fill the director of
Trump is funny, though. We got to give it to the man. Agree or disagree, chat? What do you think?
National intelligence role, but still sticking by his original pick, Fannie Mae Freddie Mac boss Bill Pulte, who's now serving as a temporary acting director, as Democrats yank their support for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act over his lack of experience.
We can't let them extort us.
We got Real Roy Cohn dropping some jokes in the chat, buddy. There you go.
John, so far, no statements from the White House or Truth Socials from the president since those strikes began on Iran about an hour ago. Of course, we will be here and bring you any up.
There you go. Coach saying, so we attack a country, they defend themselves and shoot down a military vehicle. So we justify revenge, make it make sense. Yeah, man. Yeah. Play the victim. Pull that victim card right out of that pocket. Right? Allegedly. Oh, man.
Updates if that changes. John.
Well, he promised the attacks are going to happen, and they are happening. Aisha Hassan, 1600 Pennsylvania. Thanks, Aisha.
Good evening, John. We've just learned that at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, that U.S. Central Command began carrying out airstrikes against Iranian targets. We've heard of explosions occurring at ports along the Strait of Hormuz and along the Iranian coast. We've heard that Kish Island has been hit, Keshem Island, as well as sites in western Tehrran. Earlier today, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Everybody be on your best behavior. Jigsaw has joined the chat.
Visited Guantanamo Bay in Cuba and then flew to Tampa, Florida to CENTCOM headquarters, where he was briefed on Iranian target lists by Admiral Brad Cooper. Hegseth spoke to reporters traveling with him and announced the U.S. military would be bombing Iranian targets tonight.
Those strikes that'll happen tonight.
She can teach me some things with about women.
Tonight will be strong. They will be clear. If they happen tomorrow night, they will be strong and they will be clear. Central Command will be busy tonight because President Trump said we will be hitting Iran hard, and we will be. If we need to negotiate with bombs, we'll negotiate with bombs.
Hegseth then indicated that during the ceasefire, CENTCOM had been busy mapping new targets and also tracking the movements of Iran's leaders. He also claimed the U.S. actually controls the Strait of Hormuz after the president revealed that the U.S. military had secretly been escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, laden with over 100 million barrels of oil in the middle of the night without Iran seeing them. Overnight, Iran fired dozens of missiles and drones in response to the U.S. strikes on 20 targets last night after an Iranian drone forced down an American Apache helicopter.
Good morning, user TT. How you doing, buddy?
With 2 crew members on board. President Trump said it was a miracle they survived. He said an Iranian projectile lodged between the 2 pilots of the Apache and was on fire, emitting a massive amount of heat, but did not explode within seconds. The helicopter pilots brought the helicopter down into the water quickly. They didn't know if it would explode or not. Qatari negotiators were in Tehran today to try to convince Iranian officials to restart negotiations, John.
Well, we'll see if they have any luck with that after these renewed attacks. All right, I doubt it. Jennifer, thank you for the update.
I've been working with Iran for a number of months, and they should sign their deal. It's a good deal. It doesn't give them the right to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, it totally...
Good night, Dean from Down Under.
...prohibits them from ever having a nuclear weapon. And it was just tap, tap, tap. I don't know what they're doing.
Let's turn our attention back to the situation in the Middle East as a second round of retaliatory strikes against Iran is currently underway. Fox News chief political analyst
Gator Chris, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Britt Hume is with us this evening. Britt, it's great to see you again. What do you make of all of this?
Mandy has joined the chat with 5 big Australian buckaroos. W's in the chat for Mandy, keeping the show alive. Oh, Mandy, we gotta make a man for you. I'm so sorry, Veronica. You gotta bring a man for Mandy. But for now, Mandy, turn away. If you're a woman and don't want to see women, turn away for like 10 seconds.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
Go on and do your push-ups, girl. There you go. We're gonna get a man in there for you soon. We're casting for men for you, Mandy, just for you. W's in the chat for Mandy.
Are we headed back to all-out war with
Dark Tessie? You're funny, bro.
Iran? Is there going to be a deal made? How do you read it?
Well, the outward appearances, John, it would appear that the Iranians have been, as the president likes to say, tapping him along all through all this period, and all this talk about a deal being near is just an effort for Iran to string this along, and this recent attack on that helicopter proves that. On the other hand, the president, his vice president, and presumably his negotiating team all believe that Iran, or some faction of the Iranian government, is seriously negotiating and have brought them close to a possible deal. And that somewhere along the way here, if you're looking for a way to queer that, to undermine it.
Oh, Mandy, look at Mandy.
Carry out an attack.
W's in the chat. All-star Mandy, not messing around. This one's for the lads. She better get some subscribers for this one, right? If she's a content creator. Come on, Veronica. Show Mandy some love. Come on.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
Yeah, number 1. Mandy is the best. Thank you so much, Mandy.
On a U.S. helicopter and other attacks on Iran's neighbors. So it's all a little bit unclear, and it was interesting to hear the president saying that soundbite you just played that he didn't know what they were doing. I think it's unclear what they're doing. Although if I had to bet, I would probably bet that he's been tapping them, that Iran has been tapping our president along, thinking that that high gasoline prices and which have pushed inflation up are working to their advantage and that they can hold out.
You know, a lot of military experts that we talk to think that it's long past time for the United States to go back to full-scale war against Iran, saying 9 weeks ago we had Iran on the ropes. And ever since then, President Trump has been talking about this elusive deal. Listen to what he said over the weeks here.
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks. We'll leave. I view it as very close to over. I think they want to make a deal very badly. It's looking very good that we're going to make a deal with Iran. It could happen any day. I believe they want the deal more than I do. Iran is dying to make a deal. We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal. Could be in 2 or 3 days. We're really close to a deal.
That's 9 weeks of we're close to a deal. And at some point, you've got to acknowledge it's not happening.
Yeah, and John, you begin to wonder sometimes that the president isn't speaking to 2 entirely separate audiences here. He dealing with the Iranians and telling the American public.
Uh-oh. What happened? Did it pause? Muted for a sec. All right. That's interesting. Did everything mute? Can you hear me? Check, check. Oh my gosh. Did I just get, can you hear me? Check, check. All right. Interesting. All right. I guess that was part of it. I guess you guys can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. All right. Speaking of trolling, this lady can troll. Very funny. Do we have any sound? I think our audio's bad on that, maybe. Let's see if we can have sound. Oh.
Thank you for your support.
Very interesting. Technical difficulties. There There we go. Okay. We gotta bring a little troll in this one for y'all. So this girl's pretty funny. Her name is Hook Don Riley, and this is what it says. Point of view: on my way to throw a biology book into a pride parade. Rage baiting. All right, and there's some music in the background, but she's got a USA shirt, so that's very cool. That's very cool. All right, let's see if we can get this thing back in action where it was.
Time the same.
Okay, yeah, I can hear it, but now my windows are all messed up. Fix my windows.
Sort of.
At the same time, of course, he says that, you know, we're ready to attack at any time and that they dare not fool with us. So I think it's a bit of a mystery here as to exactly where we are. Yeah. But certainly it is the case that our generals and some external experts, Jack Keane among them, who
yeah, shout out to Spectrum Wi-Fi Gator, Chris says. I don't use Spectrum, but there you go. Common occurrence with Spectrum, I'm guessing.
Contribute so much to us, believe that there was a lot of unfinished business at the time we went into this.
Hugh, how you doing, buddy? Drop the mic. All right, buddy.
Ceasefire, and that it's time we go ahead and finish that business and see where we are once that's done.
All right, well, we'll see what happens for the rest of the evening, but it seems as though it's just defensive or self-defensive retaliatory strikes going on right now. We'll see if it broadens out at all. Britt, great to catch up with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Hi, Jeff.
Oh, we got a member. There we go. Oi, oi. Welcome to the inner circle, buddy. Yeah, good to see you. W's in the chat for oi, oi. There you go.
Jennifer, can you give us an update?
Yes, hi, Dana. We have reports we've just confirmed with U.S. officials that airstrikes have begun against Iranian targets. Iranian state media is reporting that those strikes are being carried out.
There you go. Now Oi Oi can actually use his emoji. Awesome.
Out on Keshem Island. We heard those strikes yesterday at about this time. The same sort of airstrikes began. Keshem Island, Manab, Sirik. These are all port and coastal areas where the U.S. it was taking out air defenses and radar systems just yesterday. Right now, we can say that.
How you doing, Terrence? Good to see you.
Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, was down at CENTCOM headquarters where he was being briefed by Admiral Brad Cooper this afternoon about potential targets. Earlier in the day, the president indicated and telegraphed that the airstrikes were likely to begin again tonight. Secretary Hegseth told reporters who were traveling with him that, in fact,
Mandy says, I don't think I would I don't think I would push the USA too much if they are picking people up with drones. That's some tech. They're picking people up with drones. He was making me laugh with the emojis. Are they actually? Goodness gracious.
In fact, the U.S. is willing to negotiate with bombs if need be. And shortly thereafter, the airstrikes began. We can expect to see, I think, over the next few hours, a number of new targets hit inside Iran. Earlier today, Qatari negotiators were sent to Tehran to try and convince Iran's leaders to get back to the talks, to agree to the terms that the U.S. had been discussing.
Oh, that is incredible, Mandy. Did not know. That's amazing. Yo, Gator Chris, welcome to the first wave, buddy. Good to have you.
Negotiations have been stalled. Now, I think the feeling is that another night of airstrikes may bring the Iranians back to the table. But the last few weeks and since the ceasefire have proven to be very frustrating. And there has been, as
How you doing, MGS?
Officials have described to me less a ceasefire and more of a less fire. Earlier today, we know that the U.S. military also disabled.
Wolf Raza says the drone in question is a boat with auto driving. Not that big of a deal. People don't understand this tech. Oh, okay, so they like set up some type of ELRS thing and then just kind of guided it with maybe some analog camera.
A second oil tanker that was trying to make its way to an Iranian port. This was a Palau-flagged ship. It's the second day in a row that they've done so. They've fired using precision munitions into the engineering cabins and the steering section.
All right, so yeah, that's absolutely accurate. An uncrewed surface vessel rescued the 2 American aviators shortly after the crash. CENTCOM described it as the first known operation of its kind. Officials confirmed it was the first time a drone has been used for a water rescue. That's from Al Jazeera and CBS News. So the first correction is it's a boat, not an aerial drone. But, you know, nonetheless, still a drone, an unmanned drone, I guess. But I just misunderstood what the darling Mandy said. That was a boat from Task Force 5959. Okay. Late March. Okay. The crew roughly 2 hours after 1:30 a.m. crash off Oman ferried them to a recovery point at sea where a helicopter picked them up. So the drone did the dangerous leg. Humans still did the final extraction. That's cool. There you go. Saving lives, you know. That's amazing. Brilliant.
Of those oil tankers. We also learned from the president earlier today that over the course of the last few weeks, over 100 million barrels of oil have been escorted.
Oh, come on, Mandy. You don't need to apologize. You're a superstar, girl. Come on.
Through the Strait of Hormuz by U.S. Central Command. That had been a secret up until now. Iranians.
The Chad USA says those pilots were happy either way. 100%, bro. They were stoked about it, for sure. Kind of sketchy, though. Just imagine, like, what they do. They put a little microphone on the drone. They're like, hey, this is U.S. You're safe now. Jump into this boat, even though you don't see anybody. And don't make too many noises. And hopefully we make it to where we're going.
Had not been able to see those oil tankers moving through in the cloak of darkness under CENTCOM's watch.
Yeah, Trevor Johnson. I think all of us just want to know the truth. That's for sure.
So a lot happening right now.
Yeah, get in the boat now with the Arnold Schwarzenegger accent.
We expect another busy night for U.S. Central Command. And what was so unusual today and earlier today was hearing both the president as well as Secretary Hegseth telegraphing that these airstrikes were about to begin. I can never remember in the past when the U.S. has said when the bombing was going to begin. So clearly this is designed to pressure the Iranian leaders to get back to the negotiating table. Dana.
All right. Did you have anything? Anybody else have a question for her? If not, let me ask you one more. So when it comes to the last several weeks, or I guess 8 weeks, we know, obviously we have eyes in the...
You thought it was a drone, man. You want to know who it really was? I'm going to show you right now, dude. This is who it was, bro. Get in the boat. Get in the boat now.
In the sky, we can see what they're doing. So do you think that these targets are more about taking out some of their remaining military capabilities, or does it go to power plants and bridges as truthed
the unit himself
earlier today?
Well, we heard from the president that the next step in the escalation ladder would likely be bridges, electrical plants, infrastructure. It's not clear to me at this point.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Like, when they start doing that, they're putting the civilians at risk. You know, the power structure and the bridges. Once they start, oh man, Mandy would get in that boat for sure. But you know, war is a dirty game, and that's part of the negotiation as well. You know, just make them struggle until they say, yeah, for sure. It's not a diplomatic way of negotiating, but it's a forceful way. Definitely a forceful way. But the thing with that is there's always a reaction to an action, right?
What the targets are. Some of the sites that we've heard that explosions began earlier, just a few minutes ago, those are some of the sites where there were radar defenses that were.
That's right. No rules in war. With a tattoo saying, the plane, boss, as the bombers come in. Iran warned him about that. About what? About what? Yeah.
Struck last night, radar installations. Though the reason you would go after those first is so that U.S. warplanes could get in closer, and so it's surprising that the Iranians, frankly, still have any air defense systems after those first 38 days of bombing by the Israelis and the U.S. military. But it does show just how resilient the Iranians are, and we do know from leaked intelligence reports that have reported broadly in the press that the Iranians were able to keep.
Yeah, Wolf Raza says using VR, virtual reality, to be more accurate with those drones. Yeah, first-person view. And they have thermal cameras. They have night vision. They have everything. They could see any. They have radar. You know, they can see so many things. A few things they can't, but multiple armies, including ours, already strapping. Yeah. G-uns to the back of robotic dogs. Ultimately, it's all a pretty stupid use of the tech. Yeah, that's dangerous. It's so dangerous what this tech can do now. It's absolutely showing how weak humans are without weapons. Like, it's okay if it's used for good, you know, and used against criminals and stuff, but whenever it's used against upright citizens, you know, that's when it gets kind of scary, right?
About half of their ballistic missile supply as well as their mobile missile launchers. And so that's been a great frustration for the U.S. military and for Israel that many of those mobile missile launchers survive. They retreat back into mountains and then pull them back out. Also, those drone launchers. So I imagine they're going after a lot of those sites, and we'll just have to see whether they've expanded that to actual infrastructure.
Great. Jennifer, thank you so much for.
Oh, W's in the chat for the red US $50 from the man himself, Stephen Wells. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, man. What a man. What a special man. Saying, I keep missing your show. Try to catch the next one. Have a great day. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You're the best. Veronica, come over here. Tell Stephen how much you love him.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
There you go, Mandy. Veronica loves you, Stephen. Thank you so much, brother.
For the quick update.
Word is also with us, retired U.S. Navy SEAL and former deputy commander of CENTCOM. Sir, welcome to you. Thank you for being here at this critical moment where President Trump is vowing more attacks on Iran later today. How hard should he go?
All the way. I agree with Dr. Tehrran. That's the end state everyone's looking for. The Iran.
Oh, thank you for joining, Stephen. Happy to have you on board.
People, the rest of the Arab nations, and the Iranian people. You've had a government there that just continues to play the game of pretending to negotiating while extracting anything they can out of it. So no one thought these negotiations would meet the objectives. And everyone knows the only way to achieve these objectives is by using force. Iran, at the end of the day, has to hand over their materials. They have to give up any claims or controls of the Strait of Hormuz. They have to stop funding.
Oh, good call. Good call. Who said that? Mask guy, user TT. And then this time I'm here says, is this the guy with the mask? It is. It absolutely is. Can we see his mask? Let's see if he talks with the mask.
Funding their surrogates, and they have to stop their missile and drone programs.
It might be the original guy. It might not be the mask guy. this guy looks like it's really him. But I think, yeah, it is the masked guy. Good call, man. Good call.
Everyone knows that. The administration knows that. They were trying to work it through a politically approach, but that's not going to achieve the objectives. So they're going to have to use force to meet all those objectives. And there's a large population in Iran that supports that. The Arab countries support that because everyone wants long-term peace and stability. And the only way to achieve that is by getting rid of the current government of Iran.
Well, Admiral, this was President Trump earlier today when asked if he'll attack Iranian power plants and bridges.
We have the strongest military anywhere in the world, and sometimes you'll have to use it. Iran, very simply, cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that. All they have to do is they have to start signing a paper. It's fully negotiated. We have a fully negotiated, but they're tapping and tapping. And I say, all right, let's give them a couple of more days. They're tapping because it's a meaningful paper.
You know, and Admiral, as you watch that, you realize and understand, too, that part of these public statements from President Trump are obviously also part of the negotiations and part of the diplomatic process.
But it's also part of a military strategy. Not only have you decimated the military, but now you can continue to reinforce the economic consequences and pressure, not only the blockade, but taking parts of the
Mandy asks, is that the boat? So the boat is the Corsair, built by Tonite Technology, an Austin, Texas defense startup. Let's see if let's see if this will pop up. So that's kind of the image of the boat. Nice boat. Very nice. Very cool. Oh, there's a few of them. There you go. They can transfer stuff. Yeah, it shows like they have some type of radar and cameras in front of them, and they definitely have telemetry, you know, to see where they are. And yeah, that's absolutely brilliant technology. Brilliant. And the beautiful part is lives are not being lost at all. Speaking of Ireland, I don't know if we should bring this up yet. Should we bring it up? Yeah, this is pretty sad, and I can actually turn it down. There's some wild news here. Okay. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing.
Thank you for your support. I love you.
Okay, Veronica. How did it jump back to this guy? Oh, this is why. There we go. So this just happened in Belfast, Ireland. Now I don't have audio. Do you guys hear that? No.
Want you to watch this, and it is rather graphic. I mean, you're literally about to see a man.
I can't hear it, but can you guys hear it?
No, he's not.
I don't want to show this part because it's graphic, but let me see. Yeah, seriously, get my stuff together, bro.
Yep.
You guys can hear it? Okay.
Hurry up.
But anyways, this is a migrant attacking a local.
Well, that looks like cultural enrichment
And thankfully,
at its finest. Yep, this Sudanese male in his 30s
he was stopped.
travelled through Paris and Dublin before claiming asylum in Northern Ireland. Bear in mind, Sudan is a majority Muslim population. The victim, a male in his 40s, suffered significant injuries to his eyes, face, neck, and back. Let me make this abundantly clear. A Sudanese man mounted an Irish man and attempted to
I can't really hear it, so I don't know. I don't know if it's repeating. But
Luckily, members of the public
she's still
intervened,
talking.
police arrived, and recovered a kitchen knife.
he was deaf? What? Thankfully, this guy stopped him. I don't want to show that because it's kind of brutal, but yeah, he grabbed a shovel and basically went after the dude.
Mistake. This was attempted murder by a MENA migrant who has no business living in Ireland. Enough is enough.
How you doing, Gene?
Millions must go. These men do not respect the West. They refuse to assimilate, and they bring with them prehistoric behavior. We don't have to live like this. We don't have to live in fear. Get rid of them. Remigration, repatriation, mass deportations. Unless you think there's another option. Let me know. Okay, thanks, bye. Here's what we know about...
Yeah, so that was very sad.
And the infrastructure that allows the regime to maintain power or any influence in the country by taking away their support of the people and the things they should have been doing the whole time they were in government. So again, it's a very sound strategy to drive internal dissent against the regime as if there's not enough already out there. But with those sort of rules, that strategy, having the internet where the dissenting elements can talk and coordinate, all of those undermine the regime and work towards the end state of undermining and removing them at the end of the day. So a very sound strategy. And a tie to that is the communications plan that really no one knows exactly what the president has done. So it helps them with deterrence. It helps them with surprise. He maintains control by doing that. So the strategy's been brilliant. Let's see how long it's going to take to play out.
Well, yeah, that is the big question at this hour. We'll see where things go later today. Admiral, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
YouTube sent me a warning, did they? Goodness gracious, YouTube. My goodness. Freedom of speech. We allow our people to say whatever they want.
Very much, sir.
Thank you. Good to be with you all.
So let's bring in Nikki Haley, former UN ambassador, South Carolina governor, and Republican presidential candidate, now Hudson Institute chair. Nikki Haley, welcome. Always great to see you. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks so much. Good to be with you, Martha.
So I find it very interesting, the dynamic that we're seeing here.
Oh, really? They did it. Was it because of that one with the lady talking? This one?
Here's what we know about the attempted
Oh. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see if this is going to work then. Did you guys see this one? This is so wild. Brand new technology. I was trying to research it a little bit and I couldn't really get too much into it. But there's 2, 4, 6, 7 fighter jets cruising, right? Look at that. It's like a sonic boom of some sort. 2 of these going down. But what's weird is in the next clip, one of them goes up. So I don't know if this is AI or not AI. So this one goes up here. Or maybe they're just, never mind. There's less. Yeah, that actually looks like a sonic boom. Do you guys know about this technology? Just so wild. And these fighter jets, allegedly, they're made to avoid these certain types of frequencies and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's a little wild. Did you guys get a notification that I did not get?
You see these retaliatory attacks from Iran into areas near U.S.
Chad, Gator Chris, Vladdy the Baddie, Guido, Jesus of Nazareth, all saying it's AI. Mandy saying it's AI. Okay, that's good. It makes me feel better. It's AI, so there's no souls lost over there.
bases. And this is a quote from President Pezeshkian. I say this knowing that there are several different factions, so it's hard to know who is really in charge here. But Pezeshkian...
Warning was in the chat? Oh, okay. Thanks. That's wild. It just like... Oh, okay. If someone can screenshot it for me, send it to my Discord, that'd be cool.
Said that the policies being pursued today, which our dear leader is following, are also defeating this plan.
Oi Oi says, remember, for every YouTube warning they send you, you need to send a YouTube a Richard picture. There you go.
So that the regional countries will distance themselves.
We got the best chat in the world. Oh, my God.
From the United States and Israel, and this process is moving forward. It's clear that that is what they're going for here at this.
Gator Chris with some details saying if that was real, we just watched 135 million times 7 eat something brown. And not just that, 135 million times 7 of taxpayer dollars. Right there, buddy.
This moment. Nikki, what do you say?
I think they're trying to get as many countries away from us as possible. But the reality is Iran never had any intentions of negotiating. I mean, this is a...
Okay, thank you.
They've done this so many times. They stall. They make you think they're going to do something. You know, right when you think you've got a deal, they...
I appreciate you, Hugh.
They throw cold water on it, and then the whole time they're strategizing, they're rebuilding, they're starting to build back up to get ready for the next strike. And we know...
Yeah, it could have been for that music. There was like a 3-second music part.
They have excavated 50 of the 69 tunnels that they had missiles in. Now, that doesn't build back up their force a lot, but it does allow them to just fight another day. They're willing to go through a lot of pain, and they don't want to go back to the pre-war status of the Strait of Hormuz. And I think Trump was right to absolutely say we're going to hit them, especially after they've gone after us. But let's take it a step.
Oh, is USA playing Iran? That's very cool. That's very cool. They should be welcoming. Absolutely. The United States and Iran are not currently scheduled to play each other in the World Cup, but they could meet in the knockout stage. USA in Group D, Iran is in Group G. A highly anticipated matchup between the two countries could potentially happen on July 3rd. Oh, one day before 4th of July at the Dallas Stadium in Arlington, Texas. However, this will only occur if both teams finish exactly in second place in their respective groups. Very cool. Drama. But, you know, these professional athletes, they are so dedicated and so disciplined that I doubt anything bad would happen. They would definitely be professional unless they're paid to do something else. You know, yeah.
Step further and go after China and Russia. China's providing man pads to Iran in this fight. Russia's providing drones. They both have provided satellite imagery in this to go after our bases. When we go after China and Russia and hold them accountable and tell them to stop, that's when we'll start to really see Iran get weakened.
F-47 was just filmed over Area 51 base. That plane cost over $300+ million US. My goodness.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of people look at this situation and ask where, given the tremendous hits that the U.S. military has laid on Iran, so where are they getting this confidence that they can keep going at this point? And you're exactly right, former UN ambassador, former governor of South Carolina, China and Russia continue to supply Iran. They want the United States to keep at this because it takes our attention off of these other areas. So how do we, what would be your next move in this game of chess?
Yeah, this is the actual airplane. Let's see if we can see.
Good morning. It's June 7th, 2026, and today Air Force is developing right now. So either YouTubers just filmed the most classified.
They kind of look like a thermal cam. Could be.
Little stealth like shield of light surrounding this thing on the right side, which is like
US 08 says fake news. Are you talking about this mystery jet at Area 51?
What you're going to see it as the human eye and a normal.
Mr. Showtime is on the stream.
Normal camera, and then I believe on the left here you've got that thermal camera, so you're not going to catch all that light coming off of this jet. So very interesting, but it almost looks like a big landing light to me. You can see that on airliners.
There you go. Chris Jensen says, Christ's sake, another expensive weapon system that the American economy cannot afford. The national debt is a ticking time. BOMB, just waiting to go off. There you go. There you go. But we're kind of in a catch-22 with the situation that we're in. If we don't work on our defense and offense, kind of like a sitting duck there, right? What do you think? What's the ideal route? Student of war, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Saying this world is a stage for evil. Unfortunately, seems that way, but don't get discouraged. There's always space for good, buddy.
Have the ability to be very quiet, so we'll see if they hear anything if they mention that.
Good point. Gator Chris says weapons like this ensures. Says there's a fun fact. When the USA comes to Australia to do training, my dad's backyard faces the military airport. I get to watch all the F-35 and stuff. It's wild. And the F-16, they're so good to watch. Yeah, that's incredible. My goodness.
Because the landing light should kind of just be shining forward if in fact it was a landing light. But here's the thing, if it's a stealth secret program, just
which company makes these? From Vladdy the Batty? Allegedly it's showing Boeing, Boeing F-47. That's what it is, allegedly. A former F-15E Strike Eagle. No, sorry. They're just talking about it. That's the pilot. But it's a Boeing F-47. F as in Frank. All right, we got a little chart for you. This is the Lockheed Martin Corporation, LMT. Let's see if you guys can see that all right. Yeah. How do we do the days? Let's see the last 3 months. Oh, what a rise. There you go. So it started at, what, 18? And now it's at 628. Goodness gracious. Could have been making some money there, right? 18 to 630. Let's do some math.
If in fact...
All right, so this stock is a 3,400% gain in 3 months. That's a lot. So if you put $10,000 at $18, like you put $10,000 worth of shares, right now you would have $350,000 from $10,000. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason we're doing this, so we can kind of see where the world is going and what we can do to make the best with what we got and what we can. There you go. Here's the graph for 6 months. So it goes up, it goes down, goes up, it goes down. Let's see for a year. Big rise. Oh, it went all the way up to 671 and then back down to 523. 5 year. Here's the 5 year progression. It's getting. Oh, that's the 5 year progression. Huh. $207. Okay.
I'm looking at that one still.
Brad Pitbull says, buy SpaceX, question mark. Huh. That's a good question. I have no.
Because
China is J36. All right. Here is a look at SpaceX. 1 year graph. It was around 53, and now it's at 128. I don't know. Do you guys think that SpaceX actually has a future? Obviously, they have a lot of government funding, right? But how are they? I don't understand it. The Chad USA says, yeah. Brad Pitbull is the one that asked it. Going to Mars, baby. Yeah. Yeah. To the real world, just Tesla will go 10 times in 5 years. I didn't even think about SpaceX as an investment opportunity, honestly. Speaking of investments, if you guys want to buy a house, I'm selling 2 of them. One in Hollywood and one in Idlewild. Beautiful houses.
Flying.
And we got, who said that about the Chinese? Something. So these planes are not that. China has some pretty good technology, honestly. Some absolutely brilliant technology.
6th generation jet, that might be the cheapest deterrence that money can buy. It tells Beijing you're further along.
Herbert Green says, F the rich. A lot of gold digging women. Agree with you, my friend.
Then you said,
is that a good poll to run? Would you go to Mars if they believed it was 95% success rate?
Its F-47 images are placeholders.
Or 100% success rate. Chris brings up a good point, saying battle-tested war platforms China does not have. Their radars have failed in Venezuela and Iran. Do you think that's on purpose? Do you think they're just like, you know what? I'll give you guys like the second-rate, third-rate stuff. Like in FPV stuff, they do that often. They have like 3 buckets. And they all basically make like, say, the same analog module to get like 5.8 gigahertz frequencies or whatever for operating an FPV drone. And then the box 1 is the most expensive stuff. So it's all the same modules, but all the most expensive stuff goes to box 1. Then the second most expensive stuff goes to box 2, and the least expensive stuff goes to box 3. Would you think that they gave like box 3 to Venezuela and box 2 to Iran and then kept box 1 to themselves, which, you know, I think that would be like the wisest decision for defense. But that's kind of how the technology works as far as consumer technology with the products that they create. But I don't know. Well, it was super gnarly. Caleb says, I'd go at 50%. I'm old. Honestly, at my age, I'd risk it at 10%. F it. Caleb's like, let's do it. Let's have some fun, buddy. There you go. Let's go. By the way, this is the Warwick report. She's pretty cool. All right. These English are so funny. When I saw this, I was like, I need to show you guys. This is absolutely hilarious. I need to get a good frame on this one for you. Oh, properties. There we go. Oh, that's also what stopped. I see. So this guy, it says, please do not cut with a circular saw fitted with a TCT blade.
Fuck's sake.
Blade, as that would be terrible. Start here.
Telling you not
finish here. Clockwise, walk around.
to do this. So yeah, please do not do any of this. And you're fucking doing it. Check this out. I told you not to cut this down with a circular saw fitted with a tungsten carbide tip metal blade, and you fucking done it. And oh, look at this, look, straight cut all the way round. So please do not do this. Please do not do any of this to the ULEZ. And have a look, it's hit the sign as it's gone down, and it's also hit down on the fence. So that's an extra 10 bonus points. So honestly, this is terrible.
Extra 10 bonus points.
So yeah, please do not do any of this. And not only have you not listened to me on the last one, you've gone and cut one down further down the road. This has been down now 2 times, and yeah, this is terrible. Look, someone's burnt the box, and look, have a look at this, Mr. Khan. This thing's not getting no one now, is it? So yeah, do not do any of this, because that will be terrible. And I keep telling you not to.
Do not do any of this, because that would be terrible. And I think this is a camera on the side, and it's right next to the road.
To boot these over, because that would be terrible. And you keep booting these over. So yeah, do not boot these over, because they'll fall over. They'll have to be disconnected, and that'd be terrible, because it won't work. So yeah, do not do any of this. Yeah, and also, if you've got a Super Soaker, one of them Super Soaker 2000 from the 80s, yeah, please do not fill it with 60% matte emulsion and 40% water. And yeah, go.
He's giving the exact measurements. This dude is hilarious, bro.
Squirt these, because that would be terrible as well, and it means it wouldn't work. It won't be able to see nothing. So yeah, do not do any of this, otherwise that would be terrible. For fuck's sake, I keep telling you not to do this. So yeah, please do not do any of this, and you're fucking doing it. Check this out. I told you not to cut this down with a circular saw.
It's just absolutely hilarious, man. I love these people that have like just a great sense of humor. It's just absolutely brilliant.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
Yeah, we got some super chats. We got some members.
Please support this channel. Drop a super chat and become a member.
All right, girl. All right. Cute cat you had over there.
I think, first of all, Trump was right to go and put sanctions on China. It's good that he created this blacklist of companies that.
Play it again. Okay, I'll play it again for you, brother.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet? Please support this channel. Drop a super chat and become a member.
Yeah.
that our Defense Department shouldn't be dealing with. But he needs to pick up the phone and call Xi, and he needs to pick up the phone and call Putin and say, stop it. And he needs to let them know that they will be held accountable, and he will put force on them if they continue to help Iran in this war. And
oh, Brad the Pitbull sub today. Yeah, buddy. Happy to have you on board. W's in the chat for Brad.
They need to know he's serious, and he has to be prepared to follow through with it. I think that's going to be hugely important. You know, Iran's creating distractions like saying, until Israel stops striking Lebanon. It's not Israel striking Lebanon. They're striking Hezbollah, the terrorist regime. And I think Israel and the U.S. have done an amazing job at weakening Iran. Now they just need to finish what they started.
Thank you to the real world. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, and there have been moments here where leadership in Beirut wanted to sort of help move Hezbollah out, to defang them, to destabilize Hezbollah within Lebanon and allow that country to get back to its proud roots as well. So it seems like these relationships in the Middle East are going to be very key to the next steps here.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, buddy. Happy to have you here.
Ambassador Haley, thank you very much. It's great to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
We're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal. But
President Trump saying buckle up. Iran is about to receive new incoming fire from the...
I like that he's optimistic. He's like, we're really close to a deal. Very, very close to a deal. Almost manifesting a deal. Yeah.
United States military after the Iranian...
Is there a Trump watcher, like for which stocks he does, like a Pelosi watcher? That'd be pretty interesting to see that.
Downing of a U.S. Apache Army helicopter with 2 pilots that were recovered in a remarkable manner by a drone boat that recovered them and brought them back to a place where they could be safely extracted from the waters in the Persian Gulf. With that, we bring in retired 4-star Air Force General Charles Wald, former deputy commander of the U.S. European Command. He served more than 35 years in the military, flew combat missions, dozens and dozens of them, if not hundreds of them, I believe, over the Middle East.
Gator Chris says we stole 22 tankers full of oil from Iran this past month. Brilliant. There you go. And Desakin says, tired of hearing about the deals.
General Wald, thank you very much, sir. Very good to have you with us today.
Glad to be here. So
as you look at this conflict and where it stands right now, Iran at times seems emboldened. They seem willing to go for broke in this battle. If we return to battle from a military perspective.
Caleb says, my Iranian cousins escaped after converting to Christianity. Actually, it's quite the story. So are there actually real weapons underneath the mountains over there? I wouldn't doubt it, you know. I heard that's I'm just curious, what did it say back here underneath this?
Iran at times seems emboldened. They seem willing to go for broke in
dismantling of an aerial defense system of the Iranian terror regime. ITR, Iranian terror regime. Okay.
In this battle.
Trump is trying to save Iranian lives, although he is realizing that the IRGC only understands the fist. Boom, boom. Out goes the lights in Iran from oi, oi. There you go. Yeah, if that's the only language they understand, bring the fist, right? God bless you.
If we return to battle from a military perspective, how would you advise forcing the capitulation of Iran over the near and long term?
Well, I would
thank you.
Advise, I have been advising that we don't do tit for tat anymore. I mean, it's almost ludicrous that we allow the Iranians to take out our aircraft, in this case an Apache helicopter, and almost kill 2 of the crew members, and then go back with a tit for tat or a small kind of equal response, if you will. So I think it's time for us to say, the Iranian, all of your guests have said this earlier today. Ambassador Haley was totally correct.
Man, did you guys see that there? That's wild. So from the bottom of the screen over here, on the middle of the black and white thermal camera screen, you see something just go straight up.
Equal response, if you will. So I think it's time
right
for
about
us to say, the Iranian, all of your guests have said this earlier today. Ambassador Haley was totally correct.
So wild.
You just cannot.
And that's such a massive ship. Which ship is that? Is that the Iranian or the U.S. ship?
Negotiate with them. They're irresponsible. They're untrustworthy. They're not going to give up until they get what they want. So I believe it's time for the United States and our allies, whoever will participate with us, to go in and take out as much Iranian military capacity as we can, and get ready to open up the Straits of Hormuz. This has gone on long enough, and we can do that. But I think we've been we've had a lot of restraint so far.
Yeah. You know, in terms of a forced military reopening of the Strait, what would we need in terms of allied relationships? What would that look like, in your opinion, if you were presenting that to the president?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think we can do it ourselves, although I'd rather have allies participate with us. We haven't had much help from NATO, which would have been nice, but all the GCC countries that are along the coast do have some assets. They can help out, as well as Israel. So I think anybody that wants to participate for us to put things back the way they should be in the Straits of Hormuz, we'll take them on as our partners. But I think we could do it ourselves if we had to.
There's a report today at NBC News.
Oh, Bobby, I got a news channel for you. I got something for you. This is for Bobby. I think Bobby wants to see this. This is something quite entertaining, actually. Quite entertaining. Let's pull it up. All right. So let's see if we can see that.
Compliant AK-47. Now, in order to make an assault weapon California compliant, the most important thing is how the gun identifies. In California, the easiest way to meet this threshold is simply to identify as legal. Now, let's talk about a few other things that make this gun California compliant. Number one, this 30-round mag only identifies as 5 rounds. But you can't stop there, because if you are not virtue signaling the inclusivity, that is considered a hate crime in California, because they can only assume that you just want to use your guns for hate crime. This, they know, is an inclusive gun, therefore it's only going to be used for inclusive purposes. Now, if you look closely, you can also see this does not identify as a gun. It identifies as a squirt gun. It also has that little bear insignia on the butt and says just the tip, because why not? We normally start with this just to give people a heads up, but right by the trigger, because it does have a trigger on it, we have a trigger warning. So if you are going to get triggered by that trigger, which that's okay, you will get triggered by triggers. Triggers are triggering. They trigger me. Every time I'm playing with this, I'm always like, bang! It's so loud. It's so scary. That's why there's a trigger warning right there for you. It's going to be triggering. Now, when the safety is on a California compliant gun, what that means is not that the gun is not loaded. It means that you are in a safe space. All you have to do is, boom, you hear that click, you're in a safe space. Now, there's one other requirement in California. You do have to have a trigger lock on at all times, because shooting a gun in California is illegal. However, a way around that is when you load the gun. The gun ideally in California would remain unloaded at all times. Never load your guns. It's very dangerous loading guns. You don't want to load a gun in California. That's how burglars get hurt. I know it seems like overkill. It seems like the most inclusive gun you've ever seen.
That you don't want to load a gun. That's how burglars get hurt. There you go.
But that is what it takes to meet the threshold of California legal. So let me know what you think in the comments. This was literally billions of dollars in R&D that we had to pour into this bad boy right here. If you live in California and you want to support local law enforcement, you want to give them their gun back so they don't have to walk around with a little silly wooden gun anymore, you can sponsor one of their inclusion jobs here. And all you have to do is just go to your Cerakote shop and you tell them you want inclusive pink, inclusive green, inclusive yellow, inclusive orange, and inclusive white. That's the most important one, because some whites are not very inclusive at all. You don't want the non-inclusive white. You have to get inclusive white. If you get non-inclusive white, it changes the whole feel of the gun. It's just it's so gross. Yeah, I think that's basically it. You have everything you need to create a compliant assault weapon in the state of California now. You're welcome.
Incredible. I bought 3.
This.
Oh, man. Kudos to Jonathan Wayne Freeman. Oh, my gosh, dude. If you guys can see this, it says... just the second comment. I can't even read that, bro. But this is hilarious, dude. I love this. Oh, my God. Yeah, so everyone is welcome here. Every single buddy is welcome here. We love everybody over here, man. Just to let you know.
Defense Reporter beat piece that says that the president will be speaking with the leading defense contractors about missile supplies for the United States. Is that something that concerns you?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot written about it. We've used quite a few of our missiles, but if you look at it, the defense industrial base is now moving to increase the production capacity significantly over the next year or so.
Oh, there we go. I got YouTube live support warning. Copyright content. An email has been sent with further details. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So, although we need it right now, but we have allies that have weapons.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it. You saw it, buddy.
We have weapons in the Middle East that we've had pre-positioned there.
Yeah. American Pride Month. American Pride.
So, yes, I don't think, as a military guy, I never have enough weapons, but I think we're in good shape.
So, in terms of missile supply for Iran, and I was just talking to Ambassador Haley about this, how concerned are you that part of the bravado in Iran is coming from reassurances from China and Russia that they will help to fill the gaps in terms of giving them what they need?
I suspect China, I know China and Russia are helping the Iranians. I'm not sure they're going to have enough help if we decide to do the mission I just talked about. But I think diplomatically and economically and behind the scenes, we need to make sure China and Russia know that this is unacceptable, and there'll be consequences on them, not necessarily militarily, but potentially economically and politically.
General Wald, thank you very much. Your stance on this is clear. We heard this from General Keane as well, that a forced capitulation, a military onslaught that changes the dynamic here is what you would advise. General Keane has said the same thing.
Oi, did I? Oh my gosh, I got one for them. Here, I'll apologize. They will like this one. They will like this one. I'm sorry, y'all. This gentleman right here, he's a construction worker, working without safety gear, surviving a something. So this is exactly what not to do, man.
Battery died. What in the world? Get this thing off.
He's not wearing boots, not wearing pants, not wearing a shirt, not wearing anything. Not a harness to protect himself up there on the rafters. All right. Good man. Good man. Yeah. You just got to be careful when you're up there. Make sure safety starts with you. Practice safety. And just be safe, y'all. Just be safe.
And we heard that from Ambassador Haley in her own words as well. So, General Wald, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today.
We took out the other night 22 ships.
Yeah. Double entendre. Nuts and bolts. There you go.
Late at night with no lights because they don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look. Remember when I did this, I said, look, the one bad thing will be we hit the best economy we've ever hit. And I said to my people, I had Scott, I had Howard, I had Pete, I had all of them. I had Todd in the room. I said, the one thing we have to do now, we had just hit the highest stock market in history, highest 401ks in history. Everything was going well. And I said, I hate to do this to you guys, but Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon very soon. We have to go and attack. So we hit them with the B-2 bombers, which took a lot of courage. It was totally successful. We buried it, very hard to get. But now we had to make the second move.
Iran KM says Trump also decided to blow up civilians on the first day of his war, which is what you do if you wanted to strengthen support for the Iranian regime. Is that accurate? My goodness, that is shallow, if that is accurate. My goodness.
And I said, you know, the bad part is the stock market will go down by a lot based on predictions of experts, like 25%. And it was worth it. To me, it was worth it not to have a nuclear weapon. And the other thing is that oil would go to $250 a barrel. It's at 85. And
I'm sorry, y'all. I love everybody.
which is pretty amazing. And here's the key. We just hit today another stock market high.
Senator, you heard it. The president, speaking directly to the Iranians, he wants to get this wrapped up. He wants to do it right. And he wants to be leading these negotiations clearly.
We're at that point now where it's got to be principle to principle, Laura, and I'm really glad the president's getting involved personally. But he said it right. They only understand force. And our demands here are pretty simple. Don't make nuclear bombs. Stop bombing our neighbors. Stop funding terrorists who murder Americans around the world. And this will be over. And they've chosen not to do that for 47 years, I might add, but especially over these past 100.
Wait, am I kind of giving people like some of these types of vibes, or what do you think?
Right there, mate.
Why don't you fuck off, silly cunt?
Not many corners tonight, was there?
Oh, fuck off, mug.
What are you waiting for? Set piece?
Next season, obviously, you cunt.
You right there, mate?
Why don't you fuck off?
So allegedly, the guy that's driving the car is part of a team that won, and this guy who's waiting at the bus stop is part of another team who did not win. And
silly cunt.
Not many corners tonight, was there?
Oh, fuck off, mug.
What are you waiting for? Set piece?
Next season, obviously, you cunt.
There you go. There you go. It's always good to have some good fun over there and just be lighthearted, right? That's kind of important, right?
120 days as we've upped the ante. So we've got to finish the job here. And whatever agreement we may write with them, we have to be very aware that they're probably going to welch on it, and we're going to have to go back to pressure again. So the president's going to finish this job. I know he is.
Yeah, Senator, I talked to a lot of people. People are sick of this. They want it done. People who are like, just finish it. We should have finished it earlier. Should have got. I mean, it is what it is. We are where we are. But those inflation numbers that came in today at 4.2%, the CPI, and there's some nuances with those numbers, but nevertheless, people are feeling this. And to minimize that is unwise for a Republican to do. People are hurting. They see a light at the end of the tunnel, a lot of folks, but they want these energy prices to come down. Do you think the Iranians thought, oh, we got...
Oh my gosh. And I got another one for you. This is inspired by Master Link. Master Link, thank you so much for inspiring me, bro. This is this is for you. This is just absolutely for you. If you're an investing man and you had the choice, this person says, I got my life saving on the blonde. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay. Oh, here's one blonde. And let's see if there's another one. No. Ah, there's the blonde. Bet on the blonde, bro. There you go, man. There you go. I don't know. How do you feel about grown men competing against grown women in women's sports?
Got them now with the political situation on the ground in the United States. Are they looking at that?
Of course they are, and that's why it's been incredibly frustrating.
Chad, you're not supposed to look below the chest, bro. The shoulders. Can't look below the shoulders.
To have
I bet all my wealth on that blonde. Sleepy Watcher has joined the chat.
Just Democrats, but some Republicans in the media, from the day this started, take the side of a murderous terrorist regime, and they've undermined the president and what's good for this country from the very, very beginning, Laura, and it's been incredibly frustrating to watch. We don't in any way dismiss the inflation numbers, but let's not forget, the gas prices we see today, the inflation we see today, those were the gas prices and inflation under Obama and Biden. That was the norm. This is a temporary bump that is a result of us trying to solve a half-century threat that will continue to threaten Americans for generations to come if we don't solve it. I commend the president for having the courage to try to attack this problem that 6 presidents have quite frankly kicked the can on for all the reasons we're now seeing. This is a tough problem to solve, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and Senator...
Yeah, I sit corrected. Larry Mitchell's right. No, you cannot look below the hair. That's right. The Chat USA says, if they're going to do it, let me bet. Let me bet.
You heard Graham Plattner perhaps last night. He was giving his victory speech, winning the primary in Maine, and essentially saying, I'm going to be the peace senator, advocating for peace, against forever wars. He was almost trying to sound like Donald Trump.
There you go. Yeah. Make a trans league. There you go. That's a good idea.
Last night. And he thinks that's the wave that Democrats can ride all the way to November, as they have a fantasy of taking the Senate, not just the House, but the Senate. What do you say to him and his shtick last night?
Well, what I say to him is, every single day he says whatever he thinks is going to get him out of hot water, because all he does is blame all of his ridiculous, terrible personal decisions throughout his life, from beating his girlfriend to getting SS Nazi tattoos to going on Reddit and claiming our soldiers deserve to die in combat. This guy blames everything on PTSD. He should take accountability for his actions and recognize. And the Democrat Party, frankly, now has no moral high ground anymore to sit here and call right-wing politicians fascists, call us all Nazis and racists, because now they are backing a guy who wears an SS tattoo, who has advocated time and again that women are responsible for when they get raped, that violence against women is apparently okay because I have PTSD and that exonerates me from everything.
Yeah.
So this guy's a hot mess, and I think he's a disgrace to the party, and I think Susan Collins is going to take him to the woodshed.
Yeah, he's been accused of this wrongdoing, but we don't have evidence of actual abuse, but certainly those allegations.
Yeah, someone asked to see some of this stuff. So, yeah, this is Iran releases dramatic footage of alleged missile attack on U.S. bases. Big sounds. Big sounds.
با نابودی تک تک شما و اخراج شما از منطقه به حول و قوه الهی به سوی شما نواخته می شود.
Yeah, we got someone saying something pretty excellent. That was Jerry Smith saying, we live under a false dichotomy, which is very, very well said. As far as war framing, it's kind of like bomb Iran or let them get nukes. Yeah, that's so false dichotomy can be a thought-terminating cliche itself. Sometimes choices are binary at the decision point. You sign the ceasefire or you do not. Opinions and options are plural in analysis, binary in action. And also, the sharper question is, cui bono? False binaries don't persist by accident. They persist because someone profits from the framing. That's the investigative thread right there. Don't just name the false dichotomy. Trace who manufactures and maintains it. Who's gaining from it? Thank you, Gator Chris. Appreciate it, bro. You gotta admit, though, there's some pretty cool colors up there, but they do some damage, which is unfortunate. Doing some damage.
Are out there, and I know you would just bond with him immediately, Senator, in the halls of the U.S. Senate. Oh, my God, heaven forbid. Senator, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And this guy is absolutely inspiring. He's doing something that's very, very creative and kind of fun and uplifting for people, which is, you know, even if you're not into this thing, if you give this person a chance, I think you'll enjoy it. So this guy's commentating on a game where there's multiple people playing at the same level with each other, and they can hear each other. I don't know if they can see each other, though.
Man. What's good, man? Wait a minute. Let's get it, fam.
You in the wrong game?
Nah. You should have seen.
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome back to Avalon here on a Wednesday. We've got Supreme C, Big E, K9 joining Dapper Sam in the starting lineup for your Gulag Guardians. They are ready to get the win, but we're going to need some top-notch gameplay to do it. Get everybody settle in and get comfortable. The game starts now.
So he's hyping them up before like their level when they're playing together. They're all a team.
Man, I like that, man. Come on, man. Let's lock in.
Let's do it.
I don't know if you guys know it yet, but you guys have been drafted by the Gulag Guardians. We really appreciated and liked Supreme. His stat sheet really jumped off the page, averaging 2.5 knocks per game. And that's double what he had from last season.
My boy tripping, man.
That's fun. I like it, man.
I like that.
Now, despite his name, Big E is coming in at 4'9", 97 pounds. This guy, I'm telling you, he is a supreme athlete. Big E, how close was I on the
So he's just kind of making jokes and hyping these people up like it's very, very important, which is kind of cool.
You see, the more...
And that was from Mr. Dapper Sam. Very fun, very fun. And we got some people talking about the Lord. And
you see, the more at peace you become, the less you... You see, the more at peace you become, the less you tolerate chaos. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop showing up in places that disturb your calm. You start choosing silence.
I don't know if Master Link... Oh, yeah, Master Link is there, right?
Over proving your point. Distance over forced connection. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. Your energy becomes sacred territory. And not everyone is meant to cross it.
That's very important to think about. Your energy becomes sacred territory. Very, very nice.
Protecting your peace isn't about shutting the world out. It's about keeping your inner world clear enough to hear your own soul.
There you go. You're kind of like a boutique. You know, you're true to yourself. And it's super important. You know, you have people pulling you from side to side and trying to change your mind or change your decision and tell you what makes you happy, what does not make you happy. Good to be true to yourself. Very, very cool. I'll share that on my Discord for you guys. Very inspiring. And here's the U.S. launch. Allegedly.
Okay, great. Hi, Jennifer. Can you give us an update?
Yes, hi, Dana. We have reports we've just confirmed with U.S. officials that airstrikes have begun against Iranian targets. Iranian state media is reporting that those strikes are being carried out on Keshem Island. We heard those strikes yesterday at about this time. The same sort of airstrikes began. Keshem Island, Manab, Sirik. These are all port and coastal areas where the U.S. it was taking out air defenses and radar systems just yesterday. Right now, we can say that Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, was down at CENTCOM headquarters where he was being briefed by Admiral Brad Cooper this afternoon about potential targets. Earlier in the day, the president indicated and telegraphed that the airstrikes were likely to begin again tonight. Secretary Hegseth told reporters who were traveling with him that, in fact, the U.S. is willing to negotiate with bombs if need be. And shortly thereafter, the airstrikes began. We can expect to see, I think, over the next few hours, a number of new targets hit inside Iran. Earlier today, Qatari negotiators were sent to Tehran to try and convince Iran's leaders to get back to the talks, to agree to the terms that the U.S. had been discussing. Those negotiations have been stalled. Now, I think the feeling is that another night of airstrikes may bring the Iranians back to the table. But the last few weeks and
what do you think, chat? Is it going to bring them to the table, or are they going to not be too happy about that?
Since the ceasefire have proven to be very frustrating, and there has been, as officials have described to me, less a ceasefire and more of a less fire. Earlier today, we know that the U.S. military also disabled a second oil tanker that was trying to make its way to an Iranian port. This was a Palau-flagged ship. It's the second day in a row that they've done so. They've fired using precision munitions into the engineering cabins and the steering section of those oil tankers. We also learned from the president earlier today that over the course of the last few weeks, over 100 million barrels of oil have been escorted through the Strait of Hormuz by U.S. Central Command. That had been a secret up until now. Iranians had not been able to see those oil tankers moving through in the cloak of darkness under CENTCOM's watch. So a lot happening right now. We expect another busy night for U.S. Central Command. And what was so unusual today and earlier today was hearing both the president as well as Secretary Hegseth telegraphing that these airstrikes were about to begin. I can never remember in the past when the U.S. has said when the bombing was going to begin. So clearly this is designed to pressure the Iranian leaders to get back to the negotiating table. Dana.
All right. Did you have anything? Anybody else have a question for her? Let me ask you one more. So when it comes to the last several weeks, or I guess 8 weeks, we know, obviously we have eyes in the sky. We can see what they're doing. So do you think that these targets are more about taking out some of their remaining military capabilities, or does it go to power plants and bridges as truthed earlier today?
Sleepy Watcher says you can slap someone until they go to the table, but you will not be able to slap a country until they submit, especially an ancient civilization called IRRAN. They have been there. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. It might be very good to get intelligence from within Iran to understand exactly what they want and how they can negotiate to find some peace, because it's not an easy little calculus question here. You know, it's It's a complex one.
Well, we heard from the president
Yeah.
that the next step in the escalation ladder would likely be
Unfortunately, it seems like they might rather do that. Absolutely. Their ego might be too big.
bridges, electrical plants, infrastructure. It's not clear to me at this point what the targets are. Some of the sites that we've heard that explosions began earlier, just a few minutes ago, those are some of the sites where there were radar defenses that were struck last night, radar installations. The reason you would go after those first is so that U.S. warplanes could get in closer, and so it's surprising that the Iranians, frankly, still have any air defense systems after those first 38 days of bombing by the Israelis and the U.S. military. But
Oh, W's in the chat for Darius to Network. There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. With nothing behind the chat except some support. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Veronica, come here and tell Darius Network how much you care for them.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
Yeah, go on and do your push-ups. You're amazing. Don't forget your push-ups. Don't forget your push-ups. You know what? Yesterday I did some pull-ups, and it was amazing. It was just absolutely brilliant. I haven't done pull-ups in quite some time, and it's really, really refreshing to like push your body to the limit. And every time I see Veronica, she inspires me to exercise. So thank you for the chat. Appreciate it, buddy.
But it does show just how resilient the Iranians are, and we.
Nice. Ariana loves pull-ups and push-up. There you go. Vladi the baddie. You know what you can do? You can just get one of those big rubber bands and then put it underneath your feet and then kind of grow yourself toward it, man. You could do it. Anyone can do a pull-up. Anyone. Darius has a network.
We do know from leaked intelligence reports that have reported broadly in the.
That's right. Gator Chris says leg workouts are the best. Body high, then you walk funny. True. Let that lactic acid build up. And if you want to get some testosterone naturally, your leg muscles are the biggest muscles in your body. So you grow natural growth hormone by doing like squats and leg workouts. So yeah, do not shy away from those. Those are good for you.
The press that the Iranians were able to keep about half of their ballistic missile supply as well as their mobile missile launchers. And so that's been a great frustration for the U.S. military and for Israel that many of those mobile missile launchers survive. They retreat back into mountains and then pull them back out. Also those drone launchers. So I imagine they're going after a lot of those sites, and we'll just have to see whether they've expanded that to actual infrastructure.
Great. Jennifer, thank you so much for the quick update.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News.
Well, there's the update right there. All right. This is really interesting new technology they have over here. Swap this out for you. So these guys are pointing a drone at a drone. Drone on drone action. And you can see it has 2, 4, 6, maybe 6 or 8 engines. And this thing flies. And up here on the top of the screen, the top right of your screen, you can see a drone in the air. Just so gnarly. And that engine has no chill. It's just going for it. Very, very wild. Very wild. There you go. How you doing, TK at the Ritz? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yeah, this technology is just absolutely incredible. All right, it's time for one of these. This is a classic one, but if you haven't seen it, it's great. So they have water in their mouths, and they're trying not to laugh.
To a bar, pulls out a small man about 1 foot tall and places him on the bar. He reaches into his other pocket and pulls out a small piano and puts it on the bar. The small man starts playing it. "Wow," says the barman. "Where'd you get this guy?" The man replies, "There's a genie down the road giving out wishes." The barman runs out. He later comes back with a bunch of ducks around him. He says, "Wow, that genie you recommended is terrible. I asked for $1 million and he gave me 1,000,000 ducks." The man sat at the bar, looks at him and says, "Well, do you really think I asked for a 12-inch pianist?" A man walks into a bar, pulls out a small man about 1 foot tall and places him on the bar. He reaches in.
That's the start of the joke, in case you lost it.
And it's important to remember that happiness comes and goes. It is so fleeting.
I kind of disagree with Erica here. I think you develop your own happiness. You challenge yourself to become better and better and better, and then you enjoy that process. And you become happy through that process.
But the joy of the Lord withstands all.
Dude, that is so wild, dude. Imagine. Poor Erica. Oh my gosh.
It's important to remember that happiness comes and goes.
Jonas Boy says what's happening with the World Cup is extremely shameful. 100%. Oh my gosh. It's like scam after scam going on over here.
And I pray that you find it.
Happiness comes and goes. Pray that you find happiness. This is kind of like the entire new Turning Point grip.
You.
It's just so icky. It's there. There's constantly kind of using the Bible as a shield, but kind of doing the, well, bless you, honey. Well, I'm going to pray for you, honey, where it's like very obvious that there's nothing godly here and they're actually really angry. And I do want to say this, that if that had happened to me, and might I offer that I also think that if that had happened to Charlie Kirk and someone had heckled him and said that you protect pedophiles, that's a great opportunity to be what Turning Point has always been and say, oh, you have a disagreement? Come to the front of the line. That's the notorious thing that Charlie always said. You have a disagreement, come to the front of the line. I would love to debate you on saying that I protect pedophiles. I can debate that any day of the week, and I want to make sure that you're not just allowed to shout something that's fundamentally untrue. Now, what is that person actually speaking about? Well,